Good morning. Running late today. Apologies for anybody that was... I was trying to see if I could use my computer to do this recording, but it doesn't like it. So here we are back on just the phone. And I don't have my microphone plugged in today because I've had to charge my phone, so really organised as always. So please let me know if you're there, first and foremost, and can say hi. But also if you can't hear me, then let me know. Hopefully you can hear me okay, but just let me know if you can't. It's always nice to see their little eyes pop up to say, oh, somebody's watching. But it'd be really nice to say hi and just to say who's here so that I can see who's joining us today. Today we're going to be doing some observation, some awareness of our body. So our practice is going to be centred around getting our body just to slow down, feel into all the sensations that might be here. Because there can be a time when, especially in this easing out of lockdown, where we might be feeling just a little bit weird about our space. Morning Erica, thanks for saying good morning, it's nice to know you're there. For anybody that's joining us, good morning Jackie. Please say hello so that I know you're here and that you're joining us and that you can hear me okay. As I was just saying, I don't have my microphone plugged in, so hopefully you can hear me okay. So yeah, we're going to do a lot of observation of the body practice today, which is a really nice one to settle in with, because there might be some struggles at the moment just with that feeling of unease as we ease out of lockdown. So there can be that feeling of niggles, tension that might be here, unsettled. Somebody said to me just earlier today, anxious bones. They've got anxious bones. That feeling of maybe a bit of disconnect with our body. You can hear me great, thank you Jackie. Some people are struggling with sleep at the moment, just with this general feeling of I didn't even know what phase we were in because I've switched everything off. So just that general unknown about where we're at, and I'm not rushing to get back to the new normal. Maybe wanting to hold on to some of the stuff that we've learned over the last 17 weeks or whatever it is. Whatever it is, I don't know what day it is anymore. And if you have a look at our Instagram page today, and it might actually pop up on the Facebook page as well, just having a think about what you want to learn and unlearn from this experience. And maybe there are some things where you have slipped back into the old normal that maybe isn't sitting right for you. There's maybe some feeling of rushing back into the old normal, and maybe we can hold on to some of the good stuff that we've cultivated in this crazy time. Good morning Lorna, thanks for joining us and for saying hello. Really nice when people do that so that I know who's on and joining us live. And I suppose just I've not had any comments or questions about last week's practice, but it was a bit more reflective. So if there is any, then you can drop me a note or drop me a message. Today we're going to do a longer practice, feeling into our body, cultivating our awareness in our body. And that's a really lovely one, because when we are feeling a little bit fidgety or a little bit unsettled, we can find present moment awareness by cultivating this practice with our body. One of the things you might notice is that when we practice mindfulness and something really difficult hits us, we might find it quite difficult to rest just with our breath. Therefore, we want to give ourselves something stronger, give our mind something stronger to do. So we're going to do a meditation practice fully on the body, and hopefully you'll feel nice and relaxed by the end of it. But we're going to begin with check-in, as we always do. So finding that comfortable position on the chair or the cushion, or if you're lying in your bed, how wonderful is that? Then you can just listen to my voice. You don't necessarily have to see me. So we're going to begin in the usual way with a check-in. So finding that nice comfortable position, giving yourself a wriggle, settling into the space, and maybe bringing your eyes to closed if that feels good for you. And we're going to begin by taking a nice long slow breath in and all the way out. And if that felt good, then please take some more nice long deep breaths in and out. And as we begin just to arrive in the space we've chosen for our meditation practice, begin to settle into the body. And we're just going to gently bring our awareness to how we're feeling this morning and asking ourselves that question honestly and truly. How do I feel at the beginning of this session? And just noticing if you can find a word or a phrase that resonates with you today about this moment in particular. How you might be feeling, and being truly honest with yourself for the first time today. Checking in, noticing our preference, noticing our habitual thoughts. And perhaps noticing if we're striving for something more positive and resisting something more negative. Just allowing whatever is there to be there for a moment, knowing that on the next inhale and the next exhale, we can allow it to leave us. So bringing our awareness now to our physical body. And in the same way, just noticing how our physical body feels as we come to stillness this morning. You might notice niggles or aches and pains that are here and present. And we're going to allow our observation of those, making a note to attend to those later when we can. Moving if we feel incredible discomfort, but also turning our awareness to any lightness, any easiness in the body as well, and noticing how that feels. So now that we have checked in with our body and with our mind, we're going to take a nice long deep breath in once more, and all the way out. And then gently bringing our eyes back to open and back to the space. And we've got some other people joining us. Janie, good morning. Thank you for joining us. And for those that can see us, Karen, Kirsty, Susan, if you're still there and able to join us for the session, welcome, welcome, welcome. So as I said at the start of this session today, its focus is going to be on the body. And as we ease into whatever this new space we find ourselves in, we might find some of the emotion we feel starting to present itself in the body. So that might be niggly, tension, fizzing, that idea of, feeling a bit claustrophobic and re-emerging from our world. And as I said earlier, a really nice phrase that came to mind this morning, anxious bones. So if we're feeling that we might have lack of sleep at the moment, or there's maybe a bit of a disconnect with our body, this is a really nice practice to feel into that space. So it is a longer session. If you want to get nice and comfy, you're very welcome to lie down. I invite you to do so, because when we're focusing on the body, it's a really nice practice to do lying down. And one of the reasons for that is that habitual part of our brain loves it when we go to bed. If we can do a body scan in the same way, feeling into our body, we might just remind ourselves why we're doing it. So for example, if you lie down now, when you come to lie down in your bed, you might get that same feeling of relaxation through the body. We're going to do it in a slightly different way to the way we've done it before. If we've done it before, I can't remember now. I've shared so much in the last 17 weeks, but we are going to do it slightly differently. So it might be challenging our observations a little to ease in and sense into the feeling within our body. So if that sounds okay, let's give that a go. So let's find that comfortable position, wherever that might be. And you can do it sitting as well if lying down isn't comfortable for you. But in this whole practice, I suppose a couple of things. Make sure you're cozy and warm. And if you do feel discomfort or you are cold, please feel free to find a blanket in the practice or to move in any way. Support yourself, support your body in this practice. That's really important for this. Okay, let's begin. So settling into our posture. Shoulders dropping away from our ears, arms and hands relaxed in our lap or by our side. Bringing our eyes to closed or to a soft gaze. And just taking a few moments to arrive in our posture, wherever we've chosen to lie down or to sit. And we begin with our motivation for joining this session this morning, so just dropping that into our mind. Why am I here? And our intention for this practice is to feel into our body, to observe the sensations that might be here. So we're going to begin in the normal way by breathing deeply in the body, lengthening the breath, settling the breath, breathing in and out for equal length of time. And you might use a count of 4 or one that feels good for you, just to settle the breath. Begin to settle the breath in the body. You might use the phrase, I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Just beginning to notice where you feel the breath in the body. So we want to connect in with that physical sensation of the rise and fall that might be here. We might notice our tummy come in and out and feel the muscles moving as we breathe. We might feel where our bum connects with the chair or the cushion. We might feel the length of our body connecting in with the ground. And then as we breathe in the body, we might even feel our clothes move as we breathe in and out. Our shoulders might lift, our chest might expand. So let's feel into the breath within our body. And moving from our breath, just gently coming into an awareness of our body in this space. So first of all, just noticing the weight of our body here. Notice if we can relax and soften through the body. Maybe feeling the weight of our body against the chair or the ground. Held here by gravity. Nothing to do, nowhere to be, but held in this space, fully supported by the earth. And maybe noticing if our legs are crossed, noticing one leg upon the other, noticing the connection of our arms in our lap or by our side. Maybe we can, if we're lying down, allow the body to feel quite heavy, as though it's sinking into the space. And in the same way, if we're sitting, maybe in the lower half of the body especially, noticing if we can just ease into the space a little. But as always in our practice, we want to maintain this feeling of dignity in the posture, lengthening through the spine, opening through the shoulders, finding a space in our chest to breathe nice and deeply, finding some straightness, some length through the spine, as if the top of our head is being drawn away from the bottom of our body. And then once we find that strength in the spine, the rest of our body can soften and relax around that centre point, allowing our tummies to soften and relax, to let go of holding. And have a sense that our body can melt here against the ground, that gravity and earth is doing its job to support us in the body, and we have to do very little. So as we sit here in this practice, just breathing, we might be able to notice if we've allowed tension to melt from the body, And noticing if we can feel quite grounded or rested against whether it's the chair, a cushion, the bed, or just the ground beneath us. We might already begin to feel at rest. But we're going to move into a phase of being present with the body here at rest. And we're going to begin in the toes of our feet. And if they're in socks or shoes, just wriggling our toes against wherever we are. Beginning to feel into the tingling sensation that might be there. Noticing any tightness or stiffness as we move through the body today. And maybe where we feel discomfort or tightness, can we bring a curiosity to it? Not getting caught up in the story, but maybe allowing ourselves to pay some attention to it just for a moment. And breathing deeply into the space and noticing if we can release some of that tension. And then we might feel the soles of our feet against the floor or in our shoes or our socks, or even in space held here with the tingling or the warmth, the draft that might be here. Just noticing the temperature here at our toes and our feet, the tops of our feet, the ankles. And if we're sitting, we might notice we're supported upon the top of the ankles. And if we're lying down, perhaps the ankles connect with the ground and we can allow our feet to fall gently without holding, without tension. And in the lower legs now, can we soften and relax? Allow any tightness or straining to melt away into the ground. Supported here, nothing to do, nothing to hold. And in the same way, we can feel the effect of gravity on our knees, whether they're crossed or stretched out. We can feel the midpoint of our legs being drawn towards the ground. And as we do so, we take with it our thighs, those big muscles and the hamstrings. And we release and soften, even giving them a little wriggle or a little shake, just to release any little points of tension that might be here. As we allow them to sink into the ground. And even where we sit, noticing our bum here as we lie or sit. Maybe we can imagine the funneling of the weight of our body to feel present here, in this center point. Allowing the weight of our body to be felt against the ground. And almost as if someone has given you permission to let go of tension completely from your hips, your pelvis, your thighs, your knees, your calves, your ankles, your feet, your toes. If someone's given them a little shake and allowed them to rest, fully and completely. So we might feel at this point a disconnect between our upper body and our lower body, where our body feels soft and relaxed. The length and breadth of our bones in our legs feel heavy, feel held, tension gone. And then we're going to bring our awareness into our tummy. And we're going to notice if tension has crept back in here, as it sometimes habitually does. And let's notice if we can give it permission to relax and soften. And maybe we can feel the breath of our body all the way down into our tummy. And as we breathe in deeply, maybe we can notice our breath expanding through the lower back. As we breathe into our tummy, maybe we can breathe into the back too. And then perhaps we can bring our awareness into our rib cage as we breathe into this space. Can we breathe horizontally? Can we breathe out as if our rib cage could move our arms beside our chest? And perhaps we can breathe up and out too, the front of our chest lifting and the back of our chest feeling into the ground if we're lying down, or into the chair. Or just feeling the back of our body move, the rib cages stretches here as we breathe. And maybe we can connect the chest in with the tummy and fully breathe into this space. And at this point we might notice how our posture lies, whether our shoulders are still soft and relaxed away from our ears, our arms and hands supported by the ground or your lap. And let's bring our awareness now to our fingers, perhaps giving them a wriggle, noticing the tightness or tension that might be here. And if we've been working at a computer quite a lot this week, maybe we can make a fist really tightly, and on the exhale open our hands like a star, stretching through each of those spaces between the fingers, wriggling and moving the hands in any way that feels good. Maybe on an inhale, making a tight fist once more, and then on the exhale, making a star, stretching through the hands, and taking one final breath in, making a fist, stretching the wrists, and on the exhale, releasing and stretching those little muscles in our hands, before allowing the sensation to be fully felt here as we release that movement and allow our hands to unravel, to become still once more, to feel the temperature of the palms, the back of the hands, the tingling through the fingertips, the wrists connected in with the lap or the ground, the lower arm being pulled by gravity, and the elbows too, no longer held by the body but held here by gravity in the space, and the upper arms softening and relaxed through the muscles, allowing the arms to feel heavy now as they pull the shoulders away from the ears. And as we move into the neck, you might want to make a small adjustment, maybe bringing your chin and your nose down a little, almost as if you're going to give yourself a small double chin, lengthening through the back of the head, the neck, lengthening the spine. And as we come up and over the hair, we might feel tingling or sensation here. As we move into the forehead, we can soften and relax, maybe noticing the point between our eyebrows where we sometimes frown, allow that to soften. And even beginning to feel aware of our eyelids and how they are closed, noticing if they're tight shut or relaxed. Allowing gravity to do its job with our cheeks. Our jaw can become slack, giving yourself permission to release your tongue from the roof of your mouth, and allowing everything to go here, as if someone lifted you up, held you, carefully caressed you, and allowed you to soften against their arms, melting into their care. And now we can feel the full awareness of our body here, held by gravity, supported unconditionally by the ground. Soft, relaxed, might feel heavy in places as we sink into the space. And noticing here as the body overall sits, whether there's tension anywhere in the body, and being really curious about those parts of tension. Maybe we can breathe deeply and release some of that tension. But also being really aware of parts of the body which feel pretty good actually. Just noticing. And as we move towards the end of the practice, perhaps allowing us to feel grateful for this time out today, to soften, relax and feel into the body, especially if we're working with a body that might hold some questions for us today. As we move towards the end of the practice now, we're going to take 3 nice long slow breaths in and out, breathing all the way into the bottom of our lungs and breathing all the way out, nice and long and slow. Knowing that the inhale will always follow the exhale. And very slowly and gently, because we've paid such a lot of time today to our body, let's just begin to wriggle through the body, stretching out any creaks and cracks, any pops that might be here. If you're lying down, taking it super slow today, maybe rolling onto your side, coming back to the space very gently, not rushing or jumping up too quickly. Being really lovely and careful with our body today. And if you're feeling quite sleepy, then that's okay, because we've just fully relaxed and softened through the body. And it's a really lovely one, like I say, to do if you're finding trouble sleeping, just to rest and relax and soften through the body. And if you enjoyed that practice, then please share it with others. Feel free to comment on the bottom. Marc-Andre says, good hearing you again. It's really lovely to be back. It's really lovely to share some more practice with you, which we will continue to do so as long as you guys are here. So if you still want these practices on a Tuesday morning, then I am happy to continue to do so. You can watch them back whenever you like. You don't have to look at me at all. You can just listen to the audio of the practice at any time, night or day. And if you have any questions, then drop me a message. We're still running a Thursday workshop. We've dropped the Tuesday one. Now things are going back to some kind of sense of whatever normal might look like. So the Thursday night workshop, just get in touch if you want to do that. One-to-ones are back in action. We're doing some more mindful art. It's going to be on Instagram tomorrow night. If you want to join us, head over to the page there. But for now, yeah, God, we did bang on time today. There you go. Shocker, really. I didn't think I would be today. If you have any questions at all, please comment or please feel free to get in touch, because I'm happy to work with you on your mindfulness practice. But yeah, have a lovely Tuesday. If it's sunny where you are, go and enjoy and get some vitamin D. And I'll see you next week. Take care.